Are you good? Am I good?
Yeah,
Can
you
you turn
good.
myself up? Okay.
You good. Let's go.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Hey, life's a risk, carnal.
Tell me something, my friend. You ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
I do a great impression of a hot dog.
Billy likes to drink soda.
So am I to understand that you men completed your training on your own?
That's the fact, Jack!
Come on, seriously, who is that?
I only came here to do two things, man. Kick some ass and drink some beer. Looks like we're almost out of beer.
What's up, watchers? This is Lucky the Dork Dad. And with me, as always, Little Joe. And this is Now Watch This. What's going on?
What is up, people? What's going on, Lucky?
A lot of stuff. Man. You've been busy? You having another baseball field week?
Oh, bro. I mean, like I said, all through the summer, it's every weekend. And I had some thoughts about it. Is that started talking to my wife about it, and I was like, you think my son kind of, you think he ever wants like just a regular summer where we didn't fucking play baseball every weekend? And then I started feeling guilty and shit, like man, like, you know, I maybe denied him all these things and stuff like that, even though, you know, with it he's gone to like fucking Disney World at least 4 times, and Universal Studios and all this shit. And I was like, I was like, dude, like, would you rather like kind of do something else for summer? It's like, fuck no, I'd be pissed if we weren't playing. So
Yeah, that's good that he loves it though, man.
yeah. So I mean, what I've always said, dude, is he can't complain. He doesn't complain. He's tired. So I can't complain. So
All right.
I got to be there with all three of them when they're doing their sports stuff.
Está bueno.
What about you, man? Getting ready for your big trip back to Calipas?
Yeah, we are heading out this coming weekend. So we're recording today, and we're gonna try to squeeze in another show that I can put out later while I'm gone.
Yeah.
Also, my youngest's birthday is this week, and he wanted to do the craziest thing. He's gonna be 12. And he wanted to do one of these rage rooms. You hear this?
Dude, I saw the pictures you posted, man. That shit looks badass.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, I should have thought of that as a business, because it's literally just like this big warehouse, and they put you in a room with a bunch of stuff to break, and, you know, like a doll you could beat up, and just with sledgehammers and crowbars and bats and yeah, we had a good time, man. He's been saying
you gotta sign off on a lot of stuff there, right? There's gotta be like some.
You gotta sign a waiver. You know, they're not responsible. They do provide you with all the PPE. You know, they give you some coveralls, face shield, glasses, gloves, all that stuff. But yeah, we had a good time, just smashing shit up. Like I said, it's funny that that's something he wanted to do. He's been saying it for a while, and I finally found a place that's not too far, up in Kyle.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we did, and it was a lot of fun.
Dude, I've heard of places like that, and then there's kind of like places that are just a backyard construction site or something, where you get to go and you can operate fucking machines and stuff like that.
Like heavy equipment?
Yeah, like heavy equipment and shit. I'm like
bulldozers and stuff?
Nuts.
That'd be awesome too.
I know a bunch of guys from work actually went and fucking drove tanks one time. I was like, God damn, that's pretty badass.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
you know, just letting us be kids, grown kids.
This place had other things too. They had like axe throwing and stuff. I want to do that still one day too. Maybe just me and the wife though. But yeah, they got stuff
Let
like
your
that.
inner Game of Thrones come out, or
Yeah,
you're in a bike and come out.
only thing about the axe throwing, like I see videos where like if they don't throw it right, like it'll bounce back at you. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But
No, my clumsy ass is getting hurt, man. That's all I could think when I saw your pictures and your
uh,
videos yesterday. Is like, I would have found some fucking way to get hurt.
it seems like my wife is always the one. Like she had like a big old piece of glass stuck in her shoe. It's like okay, it's always you.
Bro, you didn't get her to wear steel toes, man.
No, but it was coming through the sole.
Oh shit.
But yeah, we had a lot of fun. So
That looked cool, bro.
so dad stuff, you got baseball. Had my son's birthday. And
Yes,
speaking
sir.
about dads, so this is a continuation of our last episode about our favorite TV dads, where we left it up to the watchers to decide who was going to take the number one spot. And I am a little surprised. I don't know about you, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, again,
I mean,
I thought it would have been a little bit more balanced out.
Yeah, either one is a winner, no doubt. But
Yeah,
I was a little
it was a
surprised.
landslide,
It
man.
was.
I think the watchers are letting their opinion of who the guy is now maybe judge on their parenting, or the watchers are a lot younger than us and they remember Phil more than they remember Bill.
That's possible too. Yeah, either way, Bill Cosby got no love.
I know. I think I picked Phil, and I ended up throwing Bill Cosby some love in there because I was like, God damn, he's getting slaughtered.
Trying to pull up the results. I think he got one vote.
Yeah, it was me.
Was it? Was it you?
Yeah. I was like, God.
Yeah, one vote for Cliff Huxtable, and everybody else
Yep.
went with Phillip Banks. But when we put up our Mount Rushmore, we also got some comments.
Yeah, I mean, there was people that didn't want Cosby there.
I mean,
or for us, it's Cliff Huxtable.
Yeah, going through. Chuck said, "Dump Cosby for Carl Winslow." I mean, yeah.
Honorable mention.
People said no home. Oh, no or Homer. What?
Yeah. I
Al
think
Bundy.
people,
Al Bundy was getting a lot of love. They wanted.
I know
him up there.
one of the things was Homer chokes Bart, and that's not very fatherly. But I don't know. That might be in the definition somewhere.
I think Chuck also brought up Goofy as how he was a single dad.
Oh, we'll get to that when we do
a
our
movie though, wasn't it? The Goofy movie.
Well, it's in Disney's Once Upon a Christmas where all he's doing is trying to get Max to believe in Santa Claus and kind of shows the things that all of us dads do to have our kids believe.
Yep. Let's see. We got Tim the Two Man Taylor. Got some love. Nick Von Frankenstein said trade Cosby for Herman Munster. I can see that. Herman Munster. Yeah. Again,
I don't know, Frank. We'll see when the Munster movie comes out and see how that is with
you heard about
Rob
that, right?
Zombie.
Rob Zombie, yeah. Who else we got? Mervin. We didn't know who Jack was when we were reading his comments. Jack Pearson from This Is Us, and I'm not too familiar with that show. My wife watched it. I didn't. So
Yeah,
people like
same
that
here,
guy.
same here. And and people were and there was a lot of push for Al Bundy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Greg Witherspoon wanted Phil Dunphy in there.
Yeah, and Phil was in our what's called. If Greg listens to our show, he'll hear that. But Phil was in the runnings there. But
So
I looked it up, and freaking Philip Banks is ranked 34th amongst the 50th best fathers out there.
really,
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck?
who was number one?
Let me look. I didn't even look that up. I was so pissed off. But 34,
That's crazy.
preposterous. I mean, again, I don't disagree with Philip being number one. Number one was Cliff Huxtable. Would you see there? Dan Connor came in at 13.
Really, lucky number 13.
Yeah. And then, so Philip Banks is 34 and Homer is 35.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
bizarre. Who was making this list?
TV Week. No one watches them anymore. Had a bunch of like Bonanza, The Waltons, Little House on the Prairie, My Three Sons. Howard Cunningham. They have Howard Cunningham on there before Phil, and he lost a son.
Howard, he was on my list. We didn't bring him up, but I had him on my
Yeah.
list the last time. I didn't think any people would relate to Happy Days, but
No. Bernie Mac was on my list too. And then remember there was a show that John Ritter did, 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter.
yes,
And
when he was doing when he passed away.
yeah, man, and then he actually played Zach Braff's dad on Scrubs for 2 episodes. And that was pretty good too as well.
Yeah, so I guess they didn't like what we came up with, but that's what we came up with. That's what we thought. And
Yeah, so
we can agree to disagree.
Yeah. Hey, that's what's good, right? That's what's
That's what makes
there,
it
right?
fun and gets you guys involved. And you're like, no, should have been this guy.
No, so I like that we had a lot of input from the watchers here, and hopefully they listen to our episode and then tell us y'all are full of shit. So
Yes, tell us we're full of shit.
So what we wanted to do today is typically we go through a movie and we watch the movie and kind of talk about it. Now I don't know if we could do this kind of same things with the show, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through a couple of what we would think is the best kind of dad centric episodes of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
For Phil Banks, yeah. Since he
For Phillip Banks.
is a declared winner, unanimous decision.
In a landslide.
Yeah. So we think we talked about the couple episodes we're gonna watch, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So my first pick, and I mentioned it in the show we talked about the other day, is when he had this mistaken identity episode, and what they talk about on that one was it's when the boys go up, and it's in season 1, and they're transferring a car, and they get pulled over, and of course they're not believed to be the rightful owners of the car, or that they're transferring the car for the owners because the owners are white and of course they are black.
Yeah. So the episode's called "Mistaken Identity," and all it says in the notes here, it says jailed. Will and Carlton arrange a media stunt. So you got this one queued up?
Yes, sir. So
we're not in the studio again. We're at each other's house.
yeah. So what we both of these episodes, watchers, if you have HBO Max, they're available.
And you want to watch
so
along?
You want to watch along with us? We're gonna get into it right now. It's it's Mistaken Identity, season 1, episode 6, and we're about to hit play in 3, 2, 1.
All right.
All right.
I think that's kind of a fun thing, you know?
Yeah. Again, I used to like, I still do listened to a little bit of Kevin Smith's podcast, and where they did some Batman watch-alongs. And of course, you can't have it, the volume up or anything like that, but you get to watch along, and I always thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, like this is the first season. We got the original Mama.
Yeah, so uh, James Avery, Phillip Banks, he had some things to say about her. He's like, you know, again, she made amends with everybody else, but it even with him, not so much. And one of the things was is that he told her, or that he had to constantly remind her, was that, hey, the show's called Fresh Prince of Bel Air. It's not about us. It's not James and Phil and Vivian.
Yeah, even though we're talking about Phillip Banks. If you guys hadn't caught the reunion show, we mentioned it last time, but they really get into what happened, where they declared her, or I think it actually came from Will talking about how she was quote unquote difficult on the set. So that
Yeah,
caused a big stir, and they hadn't talked in years until that reunion show.
yeah, man. That again, like that reunion show, it was good. It was good.
Very
I didn't
different.
watch the Friends one, but I know people were comparing it to the Fresh Prince one and saying how much better the Fresh Prince one was.
Oh yeah, I was crying. You know, it was.
Definitely. Um, so we see here's the boys. They're gonna go cross country. I guess Uncle Phil and Aunt Vivian are going out of town with these rich people, and they're gonna fly, of course. And these kids need to drive the car across, so they're gonna take the car. And uh, who else? I mean, what else would you do, right? Give a couple teenagers the keys to your BMW.
I like how Carlton is kind of like talking to this other rich guy, kind of brown nose, and then Will mentions he's like, "Hey, did you leave the vacuum on? Because I hear a lot of sucking noise going on."
uh, I remember watching, and they talk about it, but you go back in earlier episodes, and you can see that he's kind of learning his lines. And he said he studied so much is that he studied everyone else's lines, so you'll see him mouthing their lines while he's waiting to say his.
Yeah, I noticed that. Uh, it's kind of funny.
Yeah,
It's like
and
while they're talking, he's mouthing it as well.
and like I said, like Uncle Phil, man, in this show, um, I mean, what more can you say about him? Again, he takes in his nephew. He didn't have to do that. But he takes in his nephew, raises him like he's his own. And to me, he probably related more to Will than he did Carlton.
Yeah, yeah, we
Because
talked about it because his kids are spoiled, man, and
yeah,
you know,
and he
Will,
kind of grew up with nothing.
yeah, Will knows how it is to have nothing and living in the hood.
Yeah. So that's what was. I mean, think about all the good stuff about Uncle Phil, but that was the thing to me. And you remember, how Will is, man. Will with all the weight jokes, and that starts in like freaking episode one, man. And it got funnier as the time went on, man. Like Fresh Prince. I mean, for the longest time, it's been one of the funniest shows. I can watch this shit anytime.
Carlton driving this guy's Mercedes.
Freaking jamming to Tom Jones.
And it shows how old this show is. Will's hiding in the backseat with the Freddy Krueger mask on.
Yeah, I wonder if it was kind of a nod to remember he did that song, There's a Nightmare on My Street. I want to say it was part of the Friday, I mean not the Friday, the Nightmare on Elm Street Part Two soundtrack, and
Really?
yeah, they'll play it on the radio every now and then around Halloween. Me personally, I fucking downloaded it because I like it. So it's in you know, every Halloween I download like fucking spooky songs that have, you know, the regular, like, you know, the Halloween theme and shit like that. But it's on my playlist.
So they're they're driving this car for that other good dude, right? They're driving this car,
Yeah, it's the white couple's car,
and
and
they're lost. I think they don't know where they're going. It was before smartphones and navigation.
yeah, man, my kid's crazy. He thinks that like uh I'd let him to drive to Dallas by himself, like I'm pendejo. Like, no, man, you're not ready for that shit. New
And
workers drive differently over there.
and here we go. They're lost, so they're driving around, maybe a little crazy. I didn't know this guy was the cop. They get pulled over in good old Henka's area.
Yeah, and that's got to be when he was just coming up because he, you know, Fresh Prince is 93. You know, he was already doing Simpsons.
Yeah,
So, you
amazing
know,
voice
he's coming
actor and regular
one
actor.
of the best, man. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's awesome.
Mystery Man, I love him in that movie. But of course, you know, Carlton growing up where he's growing up, you know, he doesn't see no issues. Of course, you know, it's the cops. You pull over and you let them help you.
Yeah,
They're gonna help you.
he's asking for
And
license.
Will, yeah,
He's asking for license and registration. He tells him, "Well, this isn't my car."
yeah.
He's like, "What are you
And,
doing?"
and
What-
Will, you know, growing up where he grew up, he knows what all this fucking means, and he knows, you know, it ain't gonna be so good.
Carlton thinks he knows. He says, "Let me handle this." The cops think Carlton's bull crap because he's telling them, "Oh yeah, we live 2 houses down from the Reagans," and
We have the same pool man.
they're not buying it at all. You know, that's why when this episode kind of meant a lot. You know, it's showing. Well, you know, we still see it today, right? This past year,
Oh yeah,
how supposed police see, African Americans. They see them in a nice car, and they think the worst. Unfortunately, that's still happening.
yeah. And I mean, even this, you know, back then, again, we talked about Family Matters. They had an episode kind of similar to this, is where you know, Eddie gets pulled over while being black. You know, of course, you know, this kind of shows the difference. Is like, again, even Carlton, being who he is and everything, he doesn't understand that aspect of it, and he's gonna learn pretty quickly here, and how it makes him think differently at the end of the episode and everything like that.
Yeah. So
And that was a good thing about Fresh Prince, man, is that they would go there. You know what I mean? And this is early in their
yeah, season one.
early in the show, yeah. So you know, while they did hit the funny parts, they always brought it home, and it's those kind of sitcoms that you know have the lasting impression on people.
Yeah. Carlton uses their one phone call to call the party where the parents are at. And, of course, everybody's drunk there. There's a miscommunication, as always in sitcoms.
Yeah, and you can see too is that party is just,
It's all white
you
people.
know, it's all white
Except for
people.
them.
Yeah. Oh shit. I like the way they kind of let Hillary evolve in the show. Because it starts off and she's just this
She's a brat.
rich girl, yeah, asking for her daddy's credit card. But at the same time, it was almost a good thing because again, like you said, like you didn't see many, I guess, people of color in roles like that. You know, where they were kind of bougie like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny. Will calls the house where Hillary and is at, and nobody wants to answer the phone. Even Jeffrey's like, I'm off duty.
And he said shit like my butler hung up on me. So,
And the cops are like, yeah, okay.
but again, like for me, the show kind of hit at the right time, the right actors. Everything about it was good. Um,
Yeah, like Carlton, before this show, the only thing I knew him from was Silver Spoons. Remember that show?
oh hell yeah, with Ricky Schroder.
Ricky Schroeder.
Yeah. I remember part of the cast were being here and being here in San Antonio when we had the NBA All Star game.
Oh, Fresh Prince?
Uh, yeah, they didn't have Will Smith, but I think like Hillary and Ashley were there, or maybe the mom and Ashley were there, signing autographs and shit like that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. I remember they get in there and he's like, Carlton, be careful. That's a white guy, and if he's in jail, it's because he did something really bad.
Then they start singing, and then the white guy that's in there, starts singing along with them.
It is one of those. I think like in the 80s or 90s, even every show, it's like they have a typical guy in jail. He's got a handkerchief. He's got tattoos. Probably no sleeves, stuff
The
like that.
fingerless gloves,
Oh yeah.
just trying to be all hard, and they're freaking out. Even though Will's part of or came from a bad neighborhood, it doesn't seem like he's ever been in jail.
Oh yeah. No, no, no. Cause hey, that's why he had to go to Bel Air, man.
Carlton's crying, and the inmate, the other guy in there, still singing songs. They're just freaking out.
They call him Bob. Oh, here you tell him. No, he did something bad. Yeah, but like even the show kind of it started off mainly about like it became about all them and again Carlton starts off the way he is, but he does evolve into something else. Will, as they go into college, stuff like that, he becomes kind of more mature, stuff like that, and Ashley, as she grows up, um, you know, it let them all kind of. They started off one way, but it let them all kind of branch out and do their own thing.
It's funny. I don't remember what they're watching. They're watching some kind of game, and just by chance, there's a news break talking about a bunch of car thefts in the area, and they just happen to glance over at Will and Carlton in the jail cell, and that's how they find out.
He said that that's how they got the news over there, right? They had this big confession they wanted to make.
Yeah,
Oh my god, dude! But the scene coming up is one of my favorites. I mean, throughout the damn series, because fucking Phil gets in their ass. Talking about the cops at that station.
So here we are. They pull up to the police station, and Viv's telling them, "You made a big mistake."
She calls him Barney
Whoa.
Fife.
Then Hank Azaria tells him, "Hey, you need to tell your wife to settle down." I was like, "Whoa."
And that's the thing, like, I think he was just a lawyer at this point, right? He's not a judge yet.
I think so.
But
Yeah.
you know, he knows the fucking legal system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the owner of the car comes in. The cops tell him, "Hey, we have your car. These guys had it." And he's like, "No, that's my partner's son and nephew."
That was
That's the
like,
line.
and that was the thing, right? That's what Will says. What Will said a lot is, because this is first time acting, but who he learned from a lot, and we'll see it in the next episode we get into, especially is fucking, James Avery was a real fucking actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had already done some stuff. I can't think of too much, but I know he was in License to Drive. You remember that?
Dang,
He was the fucking the car instructor.
Corey Haim.
Yeah, where he stops at the end of the fucking thing, and the coffee cup falls into his lap, but it's empty. That was
Yeah, I think I remember that.
yeah, that was James Avery, man.
Well, if you're listening along, you may get a shorter version because we're we're watching the show and
Well, like
doesn't make good
it
for good podcasting. But
no, again, fucking, it's a funny show, man. Like it's so fucking hilariously 90s. Like, okay, because Hillary's always dropping these references, right, to people that she knows, all these stars that she's friends with, or stuff like that. And she's like Kim Basinger and fucking Alec Baldwin. Again, these are, I mean, while they are famous, still, it's like these were stars in the 90s and stuff like that.
and Will's getting upset with Carlton because Carlton's like, "Oh well, those cops were just doing their job," and he's like, "Dude, what are you talking about?"
Yeah, because again, and one of the things that again, if you have a show about a bunch of rich people, it's not, well it is, it can be good. It's not gonna hit as well as, you got to have some kind of levity to the show, right? You got to have someone that is more relatable, and for us and for everyone, you your connection to the show is really Will, right? Because again, it's a fish out of water story, and as you watch it, you're kind of going through it through Will's eyes and Will's perspective, you know.
Yeah, and you can't. It's harder for people to relate to a rich, spoiled kid. They relate more to Will.
Yeah, but
Will's
again,
trying. Will's trying to get into Carlton's head, like, hey, that what they did was not right. They said if you see a black guy in something other than a Pinto or something else like that, to pull him over because it's probably stolen.
but yeah, I mean, well, again, I would like to think it's not as prevalent now. Back then, it's I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood for a good part of my life, and that's kind of the way you felt. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's the thing.
I hate to say
The
that it's
show,
a cliche, but I mean a cliche that's true. That, we always see this, whether in TVs, movies, real life.
yeah.
It's sad. Like I said, it's sad that it still goes on.
Oh, dude. I mean, people are always gonna have their thoughts and their feelings, and and I don't know. It sucks, but one of the things I liked, like I said, about the Fresh Prince is they allowed it to end that way. You know what I mean? Typical sitcoms at the time, and even now, it's you want to end on an up note or end on a laugh or something like that. This show just ended with Carlton, kind of realizing the way it is.
Yeah, and talk about Phil Banks. Phil Banks tells them off. Talking about if they don't let him go, he's gonna. How does he say it? He's gonna raise so much litigation on them.
Oh yeah, their grandchildren need lawyers.
And that's what a dad does,
Yeah, and again, he kind of has to talk with Carlton at the end too, and it's like it should have never happened.
Well, shoot, that's that episode. It went by quick, even though
No,
we're watching most of the time.
yeah, well, like, and it was too. It's like I said, man, I can always fucking watch this show, but even as I was making my notes for the show, it was like kind of felt like, man, I didn't feel like I needed too many notes. As I watched this show so many damn times and everything like that. It was pretty easy to go through.
Yep. So we got another episode.
And this is one of the ones that's most, I guess, maybe repeated or repeat watching for people.
Most emotional for sure.
Oh yeah.
Aside from the last episode, but so we're jumping all the way to season 4, episode 24. Papa's got a brand new excuse.
Oh yeah.
And the notes underneath says Will's father comes back into his life. And I want to say this is the first time we see his father, right, in the series.
Yeah,
season 4.
Because he's not mentioned at all, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does got a pretty strong mother figure. His mom. You can tell that she's been the one to kind of raise him since he was small and everything like that. So, but I think every one of the reasons she sent him out there, not only to get into a better life and better place, is so that he does have that father figure in Uncle Phil there.
Yep. You want to start this one?
Yeah, let's get into this one.
All right. Again, if you guys want to follow along, even though I may skip ahead when I edit this out, but season 4, episode 24. Just so you don't hear us just watching in silence.
And that is I believe his name is Ben Vereen.
Trying to look it up as well.
He was, I believe, from Benson. But so it starts off at this time. By this time, the boys are both in college, and Will's working at the diner, and of course, or the cafe or whatever, and Carlton is the the manager of the cafe. And Will's cleaning up there, and there's this dude just fucking this old man in college campus is kind of a odd sight. And he kind of freaks out, sees him, and he tells him, "Yeah, I'm your dad."
And Will is just like, what? He's my father.
Yeah.
As we're going through the show intro, where I remember this guy, Ben Vereen, from? I don't know if they still show it in school, but I remember they showed it in school. Did you ever have to watch Roots when you were in school?
Oh, well, I didn't watch it in school, My stepdad was black. We had it on video cassette at home, bro.
um, I just remember watching it at school. But this guy was Chicken George. I don't know if you remember Chicken George.
I I would have I do remember. Fuck, I don't remember that part, but the name is fucking familiar.
Yeah, that's what I remember from. Roots is a great series. If you've never seen it, LeVar Burton, Reading Rainbow, Squinty
Oh yeah,
Quinte.
yeah. No, I did. I watched that. I got to check that out when I was little. Um, well, my mom's fucking my first kind of stepdad wasn't the best dude or whatever. Uh, he did fucking turn me on to a lot of good movies and good shows and shit like that.
So they don't know what to do with this guy. He says he's his dad.
Yeah,
Carlton's all giddy on him. Will's nervous. He don't know what to do. He don't know how to react. And
yeah,
that's that's how I would feel. Someone I don't even know just pops in, says, "Hey, I'm your dad." And he's like, "Okay, how would you even begin to act? Right? You don't know what to do.
yeah. And
You don't know
god
what to
damn it,
feel."
if this show didn't hit um a lot of the feelings when I first saw it, but especially like when I got older, it's because I my mom and dad divorced when I was about 8, and then I was about like 10 or 11. My dad kind of took off to Oklahoma, and I didn't see this dude till I was 18. Um, I didn't see him again till I was 18. I think I remember hearing from him like one time when I was about 15, and we talked on the phone. But that was about it, bro. There was no fucking contact. So I remember you know when I saw him again when he came back down when I was 18, and me and my brother went and kind of hung out with him and had lunch with him and stuff like that. It was awkward as fuck.
Yeah, I can't imagine, man.
Yeah, bro. It was weird. So again, you know, watching this show and even getting into this one, it was just like, fuck, man.
And so, like I said, Will doesn't know what to do. He's telling him, "Hey, just come over." And his dad's like, "I know you're living with Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv." He's like, "I don't think they'd want to see me." And he's like, "Nah, just come. They'll be cool."
Yeah, it's crazy that he recognizes Aunt Viv because it's not the same Aunt Viv.
Yep.
Yeah, we got the new one here.
And right away, she's like, "What the hell are you doing here?"
Yeah, and again, she's getting with him and you know kind of making sure that Will's okay with it. She knows her sister's not gonna be fucking okay with it, and she probably knows that uh, Phil's definitely not gonna be okay with it.
Stupid. Uh, Hillary comes down the stairs and he's like, "Who's this beautiful woman?" She gets all, "Oh, this is Hillary."
Yeah, and it's got to be holy shit.
Uh-oh. Uncle Phil walks in home.
Yeah, and even I mean, I think if anything, I think that's the way you would act, right? Like again, if I don't
Absolutely.
know, yeah, like if
I don't know if they talk about exactly what he did, but he obviously
yeah,
left them, right? Left Will and his mom.
yeah, and I mean, and that's fucked up in itself. Um, but to leave and then no contact, no help, no nothing, and everything like that. Come back and try to act right. Um, I think that's the way I would act. Like, hey, dude, like, what the fuck, man? Where you been?
And Will, he wants to be optimistic, right? He's hoping maybe he's changed, whatever.
Yeah, and
And Uncle Phil and Bill, they're just being protective. They just because they know, this dude's
yeah,
a dirtbag.
they don't want him
They don't want him to get hurt.
to get hurt again, and that's the thing, man. It's like fucking Uncle Phil's just being that protective dad, I guess, for him.
And like this, really, like he takes Will to an arcade or I don't know what they're doing. A
They're at
carnival. It's like carnival, right?
yeah, they're at a carnival, and again trying to do some of
Dad stuff.
the dad stuff that he didn't do before. And again, dude, it's relatable. I mean, like um I want to say when we met up with my dad again, it's like the first thing we did. We kind of went to a park and hung out and kind of did stuff like that, and it got to be like he'd want to kind of get together, and I want to take you out to the movies because that was one of the things we did a lot when I was younger. And again, while in the beginning it was kind of like fucking like I'm kind of glad to have my dad back, and dude needed help with shit, and now I'm telling my brother like we want to help him as much as we can. Then it got to be to the point to where it was just like, man, like it it I don't know, it even now it's hard to be like fucking cool.
Yeah, and in this scene, Will's dad is like, "Oh, I'm a changed man." I was scared. I was a coward back then, and it makes you want to believe, right? It's like, oh,
Yeah,
maybe he was going through some stuff, and he's realizing what he missed out on, even though Will's practically an adult already. But
no, and dude, as the kid you want to fucking believe that's the case, right? You want to like I remember at one point it's kind of fucked up story is my mom was like, "Hey, your dad called." I mean, this is 3 or 4 years into him being gone, and I haven't fucking heard from him. Your dad called, and your dad's coming over, but he's gonna have to stay in your room. You want him to stay in your fucking room? You're gonna have to clean your room. And dude, there I go in chingas, fucking cleaning my room, stuff like that. All for it to be a fucking lie that he wasn't fucking coming. I was like, that's fucked up.
Was it your dad really didn't come, or did your mom just
No,
want you to clean your room?
my mom just wanted me to clean my
Oh,
fucking
that's
room,
more
bro.
fucked up. That's more fucked up.
I'm telling you, like, dude, that's the coldest fucking shit I've ever fucking. Um, but yeah, man, it was fucking like I said, man. Even like when my dad came back, and then my dad and some of my uncles were real close, so they got together, but they weren't fucked up to him. They did the same thing they did when he was around before, and they got all fucking drunk and drank and shit like that. And again, it was just like fucking when he was drunk, he kind of try to talk emotionally and stuff like that. And again, dude, I wasn't fucking. I don't know if I was a fucking stubborn fucking 18, 19-year old, but I was just like, I don't want to fucking hear that. So like I said, man, even then, like he would call me mostly when he would be fucking drinking and stuff like that, and he'd call me drunk. And again, dude, it's just like I didn't need that shit, man. Like fucking, you know, it's not for me. And he'd want to go out and my brother would be like, Dad wants to take you out for a drink, stuff like that. Like, nah, man, if I fucking end up getting drunk with this dude, I'm gonna kind of tell him off and maybe tell him how I really fucking felt, or or worse,
Yeah,
And I can't do it. It's not for me.
that's what alcohol does.
Yeah, I guess, man.
Sometimes it brings
And
out the truths.
yeah, and again, I don't want to fucking be that dude, man. That's just like, uh, you know. we good. We talk every now and then and stuff like that. And one thing that he did teach me is that I wouldn't fucking do that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shit. Well, Will or his dad got to Will and saying, let's go on the road together. And Uncle feels like, no, this ain't happening. And then
Yeah,
Will gets pissed off. It's like, hey, you ain't my dad and this and that. And kind of snaps at him, even though
yeah,
Uncle Phil is trying to do what's right for him. Because he knows what his dad is.
yeah. And again, we're what 4 seasons into it, so you imagine, Will's been living with them for about 4 or 5 years already, and you see Uncle Phil's in a funk, man. Like you know,
Yeah. That
honestly,
that's his son
a-
now.
yeah, as a parent, I can relate. And there's times, and you know what I mean. Like you and your son don't get along, or you and your kid don't get along, and y'all have a fight or something like that, and it doesn't feel right. Even with the wife, right? Like it's like if we're fucking arguing or we're mad at each other, shit just don't feel right, man. I can't. You know, I get in a funk myself.
Yeah, he's all emotional.
Yeah. And he's saying it right here, right? Like, what, 4 years I treated him like my son. But again, that's kind of the way it fucking happens, bro. Like I said, man. Um, you know, at the time my dad did come back, is I did have a stepdad, and while I was happy that my dad was back, I wanted to make sure like my stepdad knew it wasn't like fucking this dude had been raising me for a little while already, and well, by the time I met my stepdad, who's my stepdad now, I was already like 15, 16. He did help me, along the way, and he always, treated my mom right and everything like that. So that's kind of shit that was important to me.
That's what matters, man.
And if I get we get into it, like Carlton's helping Will pack his shit so he can get out, so Carlton can have the pool house to himself.
Yeah, I don't think I've shared this at all, but like my stepfather is he's only 7 years older than me.
No shit.
Yeah. My mama was robbing the cradle. Yeah, I think they got together when I was 11, and this dude was like 18.
No way.
But yeah, but no, he's great. Um, he takes good care of my mom. So
Yeah. That's all that fucking matters, right?
yeah,
Yeah, and that was the thing too, is like you know, to my kids, my stepdad is grandpa. You know what I mean?
mm,
Um so, you know, I know it's always been prevalent, but especially like last year, it's like when these things came along, and all these racial issues started coming up again, and people were fucking rioting and stuff like that. It's like, you know, I mean, I've always grown up, um, not color not being, really crazy to me or real important. Um, but always knowing the shit that was out there, and so one of the things that I always worried about, or worried about, was fucking people telling my stepdad shit, because he goes to the store with my kids and stuff like that because he fucking spoils them. But like, again, it's something that my kids thankfully have grown up, and color's not a thing to them. So
yeah.
yeah.
That's the part. Will's dad comes. Will's ready to go. He's all packed up, ready to go. Will's dad, I guess he's like a truck driver. I'm assuming,
Yeah.
saying he's got this job. He came up. He's got to get from here to there within 72 hours. And they're like, well, we better go get Will. And he's like, well, that's the thing, I need to do it on my own. It's like,
Yeah.
and they want them to tell him. They want them to tell Will that he had to leave without him. He's like, "Are you serious? You got with Will, got his hopes up, and then you're just gonna take off again."
And again, it was a different time back then, right? It's like cell phones are not prevalent, but you know how to get in touch with fucking people if you need to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not a thing where he can't fucking talk to his kid.
And here's that dad moment. Uncle Phil is gonna tell off his dad.
Yeah, because again, he came from your thinking is they all came from the same kind of place, right? They all came from the same area, so they all had the same issues, you know. And Uncle Phil's a good example of someone who came from fucking nothing and rose to be something.
And he's just trying to make excuses. Says, I was scared. And he says, I was too, but I didn't run out on my family.
Yeah. And again, as a dad, dude, I mean, we've all fucking been there, right? Like, I mean,
Life's tough, man.
dude, I the
It's
I would tell you
beautiful.
that,
It's beautiful and it's tough at the same time.
yeah, it's again, me and my wife were together for a long time before we had a kid. But the night that we found out that she was pregnant, I woke up the next day, bro, and I threw up the entire day. And it wasn't that I was sick or not, it was just nerves. Like I was afraid to be a dad. And it was fucking we've all been there, man. We've all been that fucking scared dad that doesn't know if they're doing the right things and everything, but the real ones stick around.
Yes, sir. So here, Will came with his bags ready to go, and his dad tells him, hey, something came up. I got to do this, and I'll call you next week. And he's like, yeah, okay, Lou.
Yeah.
And this is the moment, right? Phil tells him it's okay to be angry.
And so kind of comes back and you think about it, he says I'm not gonna be that same little kid at home asking mom when he's coming home and shit like that, man. It's like fuck.
I had 14 great years without him. Go to hell. I don't need him. He says I'm gonna get through college without him. I'm gonna be a better father than he ever was.
And dude, it's big time for fucking again, this is supposed to be a comedy, fucking funny sitcom, which it is,
Yeah.
But they allowed themselves to do episodes like this, and man, it hit for everybody, right? Like, cause fucking
I'm fighting it right now, man. When he said, "How come he doesn't want me?"
Yeah,
Like,
and
man, that's when they hug it out and just.
yeah, I mean, for me, it's like when he's like, I'm gonna be a better father than he ever was. And again, I don't fucking hold any resentment like that, but it's always been my goal is like I'm gonna be that fucking dad. I'm gonna be that fucking dad that I felt like I wanted or I needed when I was a kid. And for the most part, I hope that I've met up to those expectations.
Yeah, kind of mentioned it. I think on our Field of Dreams episode about oh, was it that one? I don't know. Well, I don't know. I brought it up one time about when I got married, I wanted to make sure that was it. That's who I wanted to marry.
Yeah.
Because because of what I went through. Like my real dad, we're going to California, right? I mentioned I'm going to California.
Mm.
Going up to see my dad, and it's always a little awkward because my dad's not the most emotional or kind of touchy feely kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, even like going in for hugs kind of awkward. It's like, I don't know. I know he loves me, but it's just awkward. Like I talk more with my half sisters up that are up there, and my stepmother that's up there,
Yeah.
and he's just kind of there. But I don't know. But he's my dad, and we're going to see him.
At least you're making the fucking effort, you know?
Yeah, like he's always been there. Like when I was little, like I'd go every summer to spend some time with him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just always been a little awkward. But talking about I wanted to make sure my wife was the one. I mean, it may sound kind of ugly because we were together. We got together in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and out of high school, I went to technical school and got an electronics degree. And I ended up moving to the Fort Worth area for a job, and it might have been ugly at the time, but I kind of broke it off. I was like, hey, you know what? Told my girlfriend, I was like, I'm gonna go up there and I'm just gonna see what happens, And so we kind of split up, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I didn't love her or I didn't want to take her up there with me. It was more that I wanted to make sure because we were together, young in high school. I wanted to make sure, and like I said, it sounds bad, but
Mm-hmm.
I was up in Fort Worth for a little over 3 years, and then I came back home, and we got back together, and that's been it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but yeah,
No, dude. And then it's tough to have one of those, if y'all did have a long distance relationship, because then you're not fucking giving your full shit up there. It's like you always got your heart or your mind set back down here in San Antonio. Well, they're up there while you're up there. So, it's understandable, man. I think, like I said, we're a little bit of the same way too. We were together in high school, but I mean, we stayed together for at least, like I said, we got together. We were 17. We didn't get married till we were 24. So we were making, I guess, making sure, and then at the same time, we were kind of, we are enjoying life without kids and shit like that, man.
mm,
We were for the longest time. It's like I didn't think we were gonna have kids. We were like, fuck kids, and then we had kids, bro.
uh, that's the thing. I always knew I wanted kids. Um, I just didn't. I didn't want to be all viejillo, when I
Yeah,
had
yeah,
kids.
yeah.
I wanted to be able to enjoy them growing up. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having kids later in life, but as me personally,
Mhm.
I wanted more time with them. I sound all sad. It's like I'm dying, but
No, but it's true, right, bro? Like, okay,
because
your your
I had
your
friends in
oldest graduated,
yeah
right?
yeah.
And your other one's on its way,
My daughter's gonna be a
a senior
sophomore.
or a okay, okay. And then your youngest is in middle school,
Yeah, he's gonna go to eighth grade.
so you no longer have a kid in elementary school, bro.
No,
And I mean, I feel it like, and I still have one in elementary school, but like my oldest is next year's his senior year, and then my middle kid, he's going to high school next year. It's like fuck,
yeah,
you know,
but
like how are they gonna act? Like I don't know.
yeah. Hopefully, they're responsible adults. But yeah, it's because I just remember in high school, there was some friends I had, and I'd be like, "Oh, those are your grandparents? No, those are my parents." And like, "Oh shit, okay." I didn't want to be those parents. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
me
fuck that.
personally. Yeah, I always knew I wanted kids.
Yeah. I think I always knew I did want a family. Now, again, thankfully I had, a lot of cousins and stuff like that that I got to when me and my wife were younger as boyfriend and girlfriend, we got to babysit, and that was all the birth control you needed, bro. Because you like after babysitting some of those kids, you didn't want any for a while.
That's what's good
But
about like nieces, nephews, and all that. It's like you can give them back. It's like,
yeah,
hey,
yeah,
this is your kid. This is not my kid.
yeah, and now we're like because my mom, well, you know, I did have some issues with her while I was growing up. Um, she's fucking number one grandma, you know. It's like George Lopez says, it's like Mexican moms is like once they become grandparents, they're trying to get to heaven. That's why they're all nice and shit now.
Oh, what do you want,
But
mijo? Oh, anything for you.
yeah, but it was like fuck, man. Like she is like the best grandma, and my wife and I get a lot of credit for a lot of stuff we do, but I'll be the first one to say it's like without the kind of support system that we do have, we wouldn't be able to do all the shit that we do with our kids. You know what I mean? My brother's driving up Thursday with my son to Dallas because I ain't gonna be able to make it to the first two games. So,
Mm.
um, but uh, yeah, my mom, she's like the best fucking grandma out there, and I don't know, man. It's it's nice, I guess, to have and to be, but I know there was a long that where me and my wife were telling our kids, it's like, don't expect us to be like grandma. We ain't babysitting shit. Once we got y'all out of the house, we're done. We're living our own life.
That's funny.
Yeah, but nah, I don't know, man. I'm glad we did this show. I'm glad we kind of get to
Yeah,
reflect a little bit.
this one was a little awkward. It was kind of different for us doing a TV episode. It's kind of harder, I think, to talk to a TV episode than it is a movie. I don't know.
Yeah. No, no, yeah, because it's so tight and it's so kind of short. It's that
Yeah. By the time we
it
start,
doesn't lend itself.
if we get too deep in it, the half the episode's over.
Yeah. So it doesn't lend itself to like our regular roundup of our shows. You know what I mean? Like our things that you would do differently or stuff like that.
Yeah,
Because
we can't
you
do
know,
that.
yeah. But
But
again, Fresh Prince was one of the it's damn near perfect show.
yeah, we did this one best TV dads. We may have to do something else with TV.
Oh, I think definitely, man. Again, we want to cover everything out there, right? Like
Yes, sir.
um, definitely hit up some Simpsons. Um, maybe even some of the newer stuff coming out nowadays. But um, I wouldn't mind getting into like I don't watch too many drama shows. Do you?
Not too many. Like we could have talked about This Is Us with the. We didn't know
With
who the
Jack?
hell Jack was.
Yeah,
Uh,
I had no clue.
I know there's people out there. What? How can you not seen this show?
Oh,
But
I'm telling you.
whatever. It
Do it
is
on
what
your
it
own
is.
show. Y'all wanna talk about This Is Us? Make a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I guarantee you, there was no one talking about fucking Renaissance Man,
I guarantee it.
and we
Did we
we
try to
wanted to.
did we try to look it up? Has there ever been
Uh,
any other podcasts?
bro, I looked it up. I didn't see shit.
Originators.
Yeah, You know, we wanted to talk about it. That's why we made our own fucking show.
Yeah. 'Cause no one cares about that movie except us. Well, shit. What else can we say about Uncle Phil, man?
Again, man, dude was your classic dad to his kids. Again, you know, bringing in his nephew and raising him as his own, and you know, basically teaching them to always do the right thing, and he did the right thing, right? He set a good example as to what
Yeah.
a dad is, a father is. You know, he never got into any. His big fucking vice was eating, right? Which you know, we've all
There's some of
hitting
us
that
that
McDonald's
struggle.
back on the
Some
way.
of us that
Yeah.
struggle with that just a little bit. But
But you know, he wasn't a drinker. You know, he didn't get drunk. Um, if anything, he worked too much, and the one time him and Aunt Vivian weren't seeing eye to eye. But for the most part, man, is you know he did everything right. He wasn't a fucking cheater or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, he was an all around good guy. He was hard on his kids and Will, but it was for the best.
Yep. One of the things that I always took from that show is him and Vivian talking about you know well we've spent our whole life trying to give our kids everything that we didn't have. We gotta remember to give them a little bit of something that we did have, and make sure we don't lose out on that because you know you know there were shit that we grew up that wasn't great. You know, it wasn't all that bad either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, shit, man.
I think it was good, man.
Is that it? I guess that's all we got for Uncle
Yeah.
Phil. Like I said, this episode was a little different, but yeah, it is what it is. They're not all bangers, people.
No, man. It's I think just like I guess just like the Fresh Prince or just like some of our favorite shows, our favorite movies, is some of your favorite podcasts are the ones that get into all the areas that need to get into every once in a while. You know what I mean? You know, it's fun to laugh and joke around and stuff like that, but you get into these real ones and it's cool to do those too, man. You gotta have those fucking feelings every now and then.
Yes, sir. Coming from us crybabies, but
Oh yeah.
I'm
Oh
not.
dude,
I'm not gonna lie. I was.
I was
I was holding them back right now.
and that's the thing, man. Like how many times have we seen this fucking episode
Yeah.
in our lifetimes and it still hits that fucking emotional beat for you. That's when you know it's fucking good.
It's when it's good when it takes you to that place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shit. Well, I guess remember, check out Three Legged Rabbit. Check out the merchandise. I still need to put up a hat. I haven't done that yet. But we do
Dude,
got a couple of shirts out there.
yeah.
I just got some
Go
stickers
walk
made.
around with our face on you.
I just got some stickers made. We'll figure out a way to let people know where to get some stickers at.
With that too, and maybe we fucking reward people for contributing. You know what I mean?
We can do that. We can do that.
Maybe get some trivia going, stuff like that. You
Once
know,
we take our suggestions out of our watch box, like if we pick your movie, maybe you get a little something from us.
a little something, something. You want to get into what we're gonna get into next?
Yeah, so we're probably gonna do another episode. Well, we're gonna record them back to back days, I guess. Since I'm going on vacation, we figured why not we hit the National Lampoon's vacation movies. So there's a lot to talk about. We can talk about all of them in general, but I think the one we're gonna go over and review is the original OG National Lampoon's Vacation. Yeah.
Yeah, listeners to our show will recognize the intro and this crazy from that movie, and in honor of Lucky driving across town with his family. It's one of the classic family
Yep.
vacation movies, and it's summertime. Everyone's doing it right now, right?
Yep. From here to my dad's, it's an hour, or a whole day in 1 hour. So we're just gonna try to drive nonstop.
Ooh, ooh,
Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, we're gonna be loving each other once we get there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's gonna be fun. That's what families do: get on each other's nerves.
Yep. It's all love.
Yes, sir. So look forward to that. And I mentioned Three-Legged Rabbits. And remember to follow us now. WatchThisPod.com. Follow us on Facebook, on our Facebook group. Now Watch This Watchers. Throw some suggestions out there. Throw whatever you want out there. Post whatever you want. We welcome it all. Memes, everything. Anything you want us to
I
look
just saw
at,
a post.
comment on.
Yeah, I saw a post today where someone said Jim from The Office is a douche. I was like, bro,
Oh, I saw that. I was like, how do you not like
that's my
Jim?
dog.
Actually,
Yeah.
there could be some discussion on that if we get
No,
to get into
I
the office.
yeah. Tell you
Think
what, we
about
get
it.
into The Office.
As much as he's the loved character, if you really think about it, he stole Pam.
Yeah,
He was moving
I mean,
in on a chick that already had a boyfriend.
yeah. So maybe when we cover an Office episode, we have Christopher Valenzuela in and bring him in. Ask him about his Uncle Richie.
Not my rich. Oh, we need the La Bamba.
Yeah, he's like, Valenzuela is my dad's last name. You can't just cut it in half.
You could have been Ricky's Willa. That's the fun stuff. I like the fun stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess that's gonna wrap this one up. Like I said, it's a short.
Man.
It's a short
We'll
one,
get
but
back into the yickety yaks tomorrow or in our next episode.
yeah, next episode. So a week from now that you're listening.
Yeah.
But thank you for listening, and as always, right, keep watching.
Keep listening.
All right, we'll see you later. Oh, look, I hit the wrong button.
Bro.
Outtakes. Hold on.
I was like, are we doing a horror episode?
I had the wrong sound built up. Okay, we'll see you later.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Hey, life's a risk, carnal.
Tell me something, my friend. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
I do a great impression of a hot dog.
Billy likes to drink soda.
So am I to understand that you men completed your training on your own?
That's the fact, Jack.
Come on, seriously, who is that?
I only came here to do two things, man. Kick some ass and drink some beer. Looks like we're almost out of beer.
Bro.
That one felt a little weird, but I'm gonna have to see how I'm gonna work that one because we had a lot of dead space where we're just watching the show.
I tried to kind of talk through it a little bit more.
I know this one was a little awkward, but I'll make it work.
But you know what the thing was too? It wasn't. I mean, again, while Fresh Prince is a comedy show, I didn't. I mean, while I knew what was coming, I didn't expect them to both be so fucking just all emotions.
Yeah, and I think maybe we talked these two episodes up in the last show too, and it's maybe it's a little redundant.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe we don't do this next time. Maybe we just kind of talk about if we do have the watchers pick a winner or choose something for us. Maybe we just talk about it a little bit, not do a whole show.
Yeah,
Maybe
dude. Like
it's too
some of the
much.
show highlights.
Yeah. Um, what was I gonna say? So there's this guy I get comics from. Shout out to Chris Rizzo from Invincible Comics and More. It's a Facebook group. I don't know. I
Yes,
don't know if
sir.
I did I add you on that one. I might have.
Yeah, yeah. And Chris is in our group too.
Yeah, yeah. So I used to get comics from him when he does these little auctions or reply auctions. So I met up with him at Rolling Oaks Mall, where there's another guy, Ray Ray. He has a shop in there called Level Up Art Gallery. It's had different incarnations. It was at first like a gaming lounge where like you go and play video games. That was like before the pandemic.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
it turned into like a legit art gallery. He's got like a bunch of cool stuff on the walls and stuff, like artwork for sale. But now he has like an actual like shop where he's got like collectibles and different things like that. And a few weeks ago they had like some anime voice actors there, and you know it was kind of a big deal. It was like he wasn't expecting such a big turnout, but it ended up being a pretty good deal. And I had mentioned him a long time ago about doing something on my show, being on my podcast, and so I met up with Chris there at the mall to pick up some comics from him, and we're there at Ray Ray's shop. And he was like, "Man, I still want to do something with you. Get on the podcast or whatever." And we started talking about doing something there at his shop.
Hell yeah.
You know, like when he has another event or having, you know, voice actors. I guess it's easy to get voice actors. I don't know. But he was talking about maybe we have something else and like we do a podcast at the same time. We can interview people and whatever. And I was like, yeah, man, that'd be awesome.
Fuck yeah.
So trying to work
But
out.
let's do that as part of our show.
Yeah. So we're trying to work out something. I reached out. Remember, I had Mary Lou on my show.
Mm-hmm.
So she also does cosplay. You know, they dress up and stuff. And I reached out to her publicist, asking maybe if she would want to come judge a cosplay contest there at Ray Ray's shop, and so I'm just waiting to hear back from that. So hopefully she'll say yeah, and
Yeah, that'd be better.
we'll make it a big thing, you know.
Well, dude, like they got the Comic-Con coming up, and there's a lot of fucking people coming to town.
Yeah, but no, that's you talking about the one at VS Texas?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people, but I'm not that rich, man.
Dude, it's gonna be a pretty fucking penny.
Yeah. But yeah, but maybe we do something there at his shop. You know, if not that, something else. So I guess
Do a live out there show.
Yeah, look forward to that, man.
Hell yeah.
But yeah. I say get some rest and we'll try to squeeze in a movie tomorrow.
Yeah, no. Shit, we're checking it out the other day. Me and the wife were watching it. That movie's still fucking funny.
Yeah, it is.
And she's happy too because it's one of her fucking favorites. So.
I mean, when the grandma dies and they just
Yeah.
leave her on the front porch.
and she's still a fan. So,
Yeah.
gotta strike while the iron's hot.
There you go. Yeah, so I'll try to piece whatever we recorded today. Try to piece something together.
Oh, dude, I think it's gonna be better than you think, man.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Mañana.
All right, brother. Yes, sir.
All right. We'll see you, man.
I'll hit you up when I get out.
All right.